Hi everyone, and welcome to another one of our virtual Yellowstone tours. I'm at our motel in West Yellowstone, which, as you can see, has been partially boarded up because of the amount of snow that we normally get, and that board that you see there and there is to stop the snow which falls off the roof from accumulating and crashing through the windows. But if you have a look where we've got the snow piled up over there, we haven't really had that much snow yet. It's a beautiful winter's day. This is almost the middle of January. I'm in West Yellowstone, Montana, and we're on our way to see if we can find any owls or bighorn sheep in a couple of areas that are not too far from our motel. We've got the old caddy out, getting it warmed up, and we're just about ready to go. We're going to be heading up in the general direction of Hebden Lake and then cutting across to the road to Ennis, and hopefully we'll be lucky today. Check out the snowmobiles ahead of us, and also notice how that road has got the snow left on it. That is a town of West Yellowstone road. We're on a state road, Highway 191, on our way between West Yellowstone and Big Sky and then on to Bozeman, if we were to carry on 191. But you'll see that all the roads in West Yellowstone during the winter are left with snow on them. West Yellowstone likes to call itself the snowmobile capital of the world. And so snow is left on the road so that people on their sleds can come here and enjoy riding just about anywhere they want. And we're still on 191, making our way out of West Yellowstone. We're going over the Madison River. And if we continue upstream on north from there, that'll put you in Yellowstone literally in just everywhere we go in this region. There's beautiful mountains, and you'll see when we turn left or west shortly, there's a valley which is just so stunning. Unfortunately though, we will be looking into the sun. If we were to continue straight here, we would head up to Big Sky and then to Bozeman. You can see there's a sign there that says to the left to Virginia City, but it's also to Hebgen Lake and this really beautiful little town called Ennis. And this is the view here. I'll show you it in a moment. Once again, unfortunately, we're looking directly into the sun. Look at all these vehicles over here. And these guys, and girls of course, are all snowmobiling. Such a popular activity at this time of the year. Now, if we see that sign, look at that sign over there, you'll see it says Quake Lake as well. And I'll tell you the story of Quake Lake when we get a bit closer. Here's the valley that I mentioned to you, with the sun of course in the wrong place. Oh, and I haven't introduced you to Trixie, also known as Cammy.
Hello?
As I've told you in others of these virtual Yellowstone tours, she's spending the winter up here in one of our apartments at our motel, and we unfortunately have to social distance. That's why we're wearing our masks and sitting a distance apart. Hebgen Lake is just up the road. Snow, snow, and more snow as far as the eye can see. We're still on the road to Hebden Lake and Quake Lake. Those are those mountains I mentioned to you off in the distance. This is actually a lake. This is Hebden Lake. And those tracks that you see there are snowmobile tracks. People get their sleds out and come riding their snowmobiles over the frozen lake. Somebody just coming off the lake. Looks like he may have his ice fishing supplies behind him. Now, in case you didn't believe me about there being a lake over there, it's called Hebden Lake again. Here are a bunch of yachts that they've dragged out of the water for the winter months. Once again, a whole bunch of guys here with their snowmobiles. They call them sleds. And we're going through the canyon, just about approaching Quake Lake. This isn't Quake Lake, of course, this is the Madison River. It was so cold when we got to Quake Lake that my camera literally froze up and I lost an entire section of the video, so I'm doing the narration again now. Quake Lake was formed when a 7.1 magnitude earthquake on the Richter scale hit this part of Montana. The earth dropped about 20 feet and a new lake was formed, which was called Earthquake Lake, or Quake Lake as we call it now. Unfortunately, at least 29 people were killed in the earthquake. It had various effects on Yellowstone, which is relatively close by, one of which was the formation of a new geyser called Seismic Geyser, which started off as just a little hole in the ground and then became a real major geyser. And the other was the changes which occurred at Sapphire Pool at Biscuit Basin. So I was telling you of the changes that occurred in Yellowstone. I'd mentioned Seismic Geyser, which hadn't existed before, and then I think it was about 159 hot springs that also hadn't existed that came into being. In addition, Old Faithful at the time was erupting, if memory serves me correctly, at intervals of about, I think it was 61, 62 minutes. Well, those intervals went out, and it was longer before Old Faithful eruptions. The other area where there were major changes were at Biscuit Basin with Sapphire Pool. Biscuit Basin actually got its name from the formations that looked like biscuits that were around the edges of Sapphire Pool. Well, after the 1959 earthquake, those formations were literally blown away. And Sapphire Pool, which used to erupt to heights of maybe 5 or 6 feet, over a period of years became a major geyser. Its eruptions were up to 150 feet high and, believe it or not, 250 feet wide. And I think it was in 1968 that went away. And today you don't have the biscuits around Sapphire Pool. And it does still bubble over. It doesn't really erupt. It does have small, I suppose, eruption events. I was wrong when I said it doesn't erupt of maybe 3 to 6 feet. So this lake, Quake Lake, which is short for Earthquake Lake, actually wasn't here before 1959.